We're happy that you're interested in the Maui9 framework. This video will be slightly longer than the usual dev diaries you are used to, and this video will be edited for your pleasure. But first of all, what are you going to learn? In this video, we will go over the basics of how to install the Maui9 framework, and this will allow you to build a scalable design system, allowing you to use advanced features such as real-time styling. We're creating this framework for free, and if you like our work, we'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to our Buy Me a Coffee subscription, which you can find over here. You have a couple of different membership levels, depending on if you're a single person or a company. So this would really help us out, and that's really fun, I guess. So before we get started, the first thing that you're going to have to do is create a new application. Always go to the bottom one, create blank, and use this as a starting point. So we're going to call this one Low Code New Zealand, and let's call this one Tutorial. Enabling online services, you can do this if you want. It's probably good to do this if you want to download the modules from the marketplace, and all the rest you can just leave default. So now that our app is up and running, the first thing that we want to do is go to the marketplace. So up here in the corner, there's a little shopping basket, and here we can search for Maui9, and this will give us an overview of all the different Maui9 modules. There are 5 in total to download, so we're just going to go through them and download all of them one by one. Now that that's done and we have all the App Store modules, the first thing that we're going to have to do is put them in the right order. So if you click on Settings and Theme, you can see that there's a certain order that they are loaded in. So the Custom is the one that has the highest amount of specificity. So that one is loaded in last. So it has to be at the bottom. Then we have the utility classes. They can actually go up quite a lot. CompanyCore, they're very important. They are the second most important. Then we have the layouts custom, Maui layouts, and the data widgets are part of Atlas, so they can go up. So that makes it Atlas Core, Atlas Web, data widgets, the utility classes, the layouts, custom, CompanyCore, which you can rename, and then custom. Now that we have the modules in the right order, we can take a look at why we have this error. So the reason behind this error is that we do some routing, which makes sure that the CompanyCore is able to be uploaded in the marketplace for your company once you've renamed it. And that means that we have to make sure that this application can find that CompanyCore. So the way we do that is we go into this project, which I have here, the tutorial, and in the theme source we have your CompanyCore, and here is a folder called folders to replace. So if we grab them and we copy them, Control C, or you can press the copy, and we go back to the main, the root of the project, and we paste them here and replace all the files in the destination. It will replace theme and theme source, and what this does is it goes into the correct folders and it changes some paths. If you want to go into the details, we can actually create a new window of VS Code. go into here, drag this in, and in theme and web we can actually see that the custom variables now points towards CompanyCore. Main also points towards CompanyCore, and our exclusion variables also point towards CompanyCore. Once we go back to Mendex and we go into app and we synchronize our app directory, this will solve our error. Now that our error has been solved, we can run the project. And we can also view the project. Oh, this is our project. It's not looking very fancy, and that is because the layouts are still the old layouts. So if you click on your layout on the right where it says layout Atlas default, we want to change this to desktop 12. This gives it a 12 column layout. So here you can see that this layer says manual 12. And if we run this, we'll be able to see what it looks like. And this is the current result. So we're getting there. We want to clean up some of this in the Mendex so that this becomes scalable. So as you can see, we have a header and some text. We can actually start cleaning this up a bit. One of the things that good front-end practices to have is to make sure that everything is clean. I want to get rid of this and actually turn this into a H1, make sure it's the main header. And the same here, color, we just want to make sure that this is all clean and tidy. We can actually put a container around here, wrapping container, pop these in here, and we can add one of the utility classes, gutters-xl. And what this does is gives it a certain width. Now when we go back and look at it, it looks slightly better. There are still some issues up here, but we will get to that in a moment. Before we get to cleaning up the top bar, just want to pop in some colors, and the easiest way to do that is with the buttons. Put in buttons, let's put in 7, 2, 3, 4. And each button we can put in a different style. You can either double click button style, or in the right button style to and here you can see all the different colors that we have, which we can use once we're actually styling the application. They're still touching each other, so one thing we can do is we can wrap in the container, pop this one in here. We can use another utility class, which is row left, and we can use a gap, and the gap just gives it a little bit more space in between. And then we should be up and running and ready to start styling it in the CSS. So the first thing I want to do is replace these two logos. This is your square logo and this is your horizontal logo. And the way we do that is we go into our resources and Mendex, and actually get rid of this one. Go in here, open the theme source, go into our CompanyCore, and then in public, and then in resources, there are already some resources here, and we want to override them with our own one. Resources. Here I have a logo for Roguestone, which is a little trading card game we are working on, and we can copy them and post them in here. When replacing files, it's always good practice to go into your Mendix, go into your app, and clean your deployment folder. Once you've done that, you can rerun it. And then when you refresh your browser, it looks like this. It might be the case that they are not refreshed. If that's how it is, just open your inspector and right click and empty cache and hard reload. As you can see, there's two logos up here, and what we would like to do is make sure that there's only one logo. The easiest way to do that is in your VS Code. We can open up a new window. You can open up our Mendix project, drag it in, and this will bring us to the root folder. If we go into theme source and we go into custom, this is a place where you can start writing your own custom code without worrying about breaking things. We have here the main, and here you can already see there's a folder with my name in it. This allows me to write some custom code. The code that I will be writing will be using the inspector. Find this class. So the class is brand logo horizontal. This one, brand logo horizontal. Copy it. Copy it. Paste it in here. Get rid of the other dot. And we can write display none and save it. This will remove that logo. We only want to do it for the top bar because we want to be able to use that logo in other places within the application. And we can see here there's a class called topNav. So if we nest this in topNav, that over there, and we save it, then this should be good. The reason for doing it this way is this allows everyone to play around with the CSS without being scared of breaking things, and this way you can also give each other feedback and review each other's work. Once this is done correctly, you can merge this into the CompanyCore and use this throughout all your different applications. Another thing that you might want to do is put in the name of the application itself. If we go in to the application, there's a whole bunch of different layouts, and we want to go to the navigation layer. In the navigation layer there are multiple snippets, and this will allow you to go into the top nav left, show it, and here we can see the logos. Here you see the brand logo square, we have the brand logo horizontal, and here we have the brand logo title, and this will allow us to create a title. So let's call this one Roguestone. Save it, and we can run it. One of the features or bugs in Mendix is if you rerun your application before stopping it and starting it, you have to recompile your CSS in order for it to work again. So once we know that we can work around this bug. And here you see that the Roguestone, the title, has been placed up in the top navigation. One of the last things I wanted to show you was how to change your CSS variables. So if we go into CompanyCore, go into web, and go into the file called CSS variables, this will lead us to this file where we have all of our variables here. If I copy and paste my custom variables here and save it, you'll see that these colors will all change. All the colors are represented according to the Adobe color spectrum, which is works on contrast. So 900 contrast is a lot more than 100. That means on a light background, this is dark. Same is true the other way around. If you're working on a dark theme, then 900 is the lightest shade and not the darkest shade. So that's something that solves a couple of problems when working with variables. From here on, it's pretty much business as usual. Go through your application, try to style pages, try to be consistent. There are a couple of topics we would like to make videos about, but it would really help us if you let us know in the comments what you'd be mostly interested in. So here are a couple. Would like to make a video about how each module works. There are a lot of different modules. They each work slightly differently, and there's a reason behind how they're configured. CSS variables and naming conventions. I find this very interesting and important, and you can get a lot of value out of understanding why things are named the way they are. Icon mapping is also something that I'm very interested in, and this will teach you how to map font awesome icons on top of the glyph icons, and how to use context icons instead of the noun icons. Utility classes, this is quite basic setup, but it will help you style your pages efficiently. Real-time styling definitely gets into the CSS variables, so if you're interested in that, let me know. Same with the pre-calculated white labeling. And lastly, we have progressive web application tricks and tips. If that's something you guys are interested in, let us know. We'll make a video on that. And don't forget to check out our Buy Me a Coffee donation page, where you can send us a donation. This really helps us out and allows us to keep making this kind of content. Yeah, good?
Perfect.
Perfect.